welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be trying something I've never done before, but I had it, I was going to try it. If it works, yay, and if it don't, then I've learned something. So my mother gave me these two beautiful frames. They had matted photos in them, and this was the matte, and you can't tell, but this is a navy blue and this is a light blue. It was actually like, it has the glass and everything, but it had a very faded out pictures in it. This is what it was like. And I love the shape of the frames, but I'm not crazy about the colors of the matte. And you can see once you take it apart how much it had faded. That's how faded it was. What I'm gonna try painting the mattes, because I actually went on Etsy and bought two photos. Well, they were a set. They were very inexpensive, and then I got them printed out at Walmart, again, very inexpensive, to fit this frame. And I love the photos, but again, I don't care for this color because it really doesn't go with anything in my home. So I'm gonna try to paint it, and if it works, that's awesome, and if it doesn't work, I can take them and get them matted. That's not an issue. Well, let's see how this works. Now, this frame, I've already done like a paint technique on it, because I don't know if you can tell the difference. This is more muted down. This is the bright shiny gold, which I don't mind it, but I did want it to look a little more old. So I did take some Waverly paint in truffle, and I had a little sponge, and I got the excess paint off of my sponge and then just went all around it. Once that dried, I did wet distress it with a baby wipe, just to see what kind of look I could get. So that's how I did this. So we're actually going to be doing that to this one, and I'll show you what I did. And then for my matte colors, because I tend to go more toward the greens, I'm thinking I have celery in this Waverly paint, and I was actually thinking of maybe doing this navy one like truffle, and then doing the celery. Is that celery? Yeah, the celery for the light blue one. So we will see. So let me get the frame started, and then we'll work on the mattes, and I hope this works. Let's get to painting our gold frame. So this is the little sponge I use. I don't know where it come from, because my mother actually gave this to me. She gave me a bunch of artist brushes, and she gave me a piece of this sponge. I think I've seen them at Dollar Tree, but I'm sure you can get them at any craft store. So let me get my paint ready. I have enough in my cap that I'm just gonna, and this is kind of damp, so what I'm gonna do is get a little bit there. And you want it heavier in some spots and lighter in other spots, as with anything. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm just gonna let this dry. And then once it's good and dry, then we will wet distress it. And I just use like a baby wipe, a Clorox wipe, whatever you have. You can use like a wet paper towel, just whatever you have to wet distress it. So, I'm really nervous about these mattes, but I don't know why. I mean, it's not like I can't replace them, but so I'm gonna let's start with the navy, and I'm gonna do it in truffle. So I'm gonna try to use this little, I don't know if y'all can see it, this little angled brush, because I want the control around the edge. I really don't want to cover up this white edge, but I don't know how good I'm gonna be at not covering it up, so we'll see. So let's try it, y'all. Let's try it. So what I'm gonna do, I think, I'm just gonna shake up my truffle real good and get some of that paint in the lid. And yeah, so I can get some paint in the lid and I won't have to worry about pouring it out and all that good stuff. All right, here we go. Can she do it? Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm nervous. Nope, she's already messed up. I already messed up. Okay, well there goes that idea, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready? Let me be honest, I don't know one single thing that I haven't done to make you notice me.
And y'all, I'm not really worrying about doing all this other part. I'm just gonna do like a couple of coats around the part that's gonna be thin.
And playing and waiting around. It's a shame that my hands start shaking all of the time when you're around me. But this time, girl, I know what's bothering me. I need to.
All right. I think it's gonna work out. So I'm gonna go ahead, off camera, I'm gonna go ahead and paint the other one so it can be done. And then we will move on to painting, because I'm gonna wash this brush out so I can use it to paint the green. So while I've got my brush sturdy, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one. Okay, so I went to use the celery on this light colored matte, and it did not look good at all. So what I did, I mixed until I got kind of like a mossy, because I don't have the moss green from the Waverly. So I kind of mixed until I got the color that I wanted. And so I mixed my celery. I mixed some of this territorial beige, and I also mixed a tiny bit of the truffle. And I mixed it until I could get the color that I wanted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the difference in it, because you're probably thinking that don't look any different, but it does. And I'm gonna show you the difference because I've painted one coat already. So I'm gonna show you the difference on the other one, the difference between the celery and the color I mixed up. And I mean, of course, I mean, you don't have to use these same colors. I'm just telling you what I did. But let me show y'all what the celery looks like versus the color I mixed. Okay, so this is the celery. When I went to put it on, it was so light. And I was like, that's a little too light. So then when I mixed mine, this is the color. And you can see the difference there. So I just kind of played with it till I got the color I wanted. And this is the first coat. Now on painting the mattes, I think that it's important when you paint them that you kind of stay like in the depth of the color. Does that make sense? Like on the navy, I did the truffle, which it was dark on dark. You know, I covered up a dark with the dark. And like on this light blue, I'm using the lighter green. And you know, it's a light with a light. So that's what I'm finding out. And I think that's important. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue painting these. I'm gonna get 2 coats on each one. And then we're gonna put it together and see how it looks. Okay, so now that I've got both of my mats with 2 coats on it, I'm going to let them dry. So while these are drying, I am going to we're gonna work on our frame and see how, when it dried, I was like, that's not really what I wanted. So we're gonna kind of wet distress this and kind of keep the aged look, but still let some of the gold come through, but it won't be that bright gold, and it's gonna look really good. So let me get a wipe and we're gonna start distressing. Okay, so I just have 1 wet wipe, and this should do the whole entire thing. So I'm gonna point the camera down and show you what I do. So all I do is just go around and wiping off some of it. And I'm not doing too much wiping, because like I said, we wanna leave some of that, but we also want to take off some of the ruddiness of it. Does that make sense? So you see the difference between this and what I did? And there we go. And if there's some places in there that you want to, that are a little too dark for you still, you just go back over those places. But I like it to have some of those imperfections in it, because to me it just makes it look a little more weathered. But like right here, this is just a bit too much. So I'm just gonna kind of lightly take some of that down. Like that. And there we have it. So we'll put, and they're not identical, but that's fine. But here's our two frames. And I love the way they look. Love them. So now what I'm gonna do, we're gonna wait for these mats to dry, and then we'll come back, put our photos in them, and hopefully they look really good. So we'll see. So now that everything is dry, we're gonna put our mats back together and then put our pictures in and see how it looks. So let's get this started. So I think I'm gonna take a little bit of painter's tape and just kind of put it under the mat just to kind of hold it in place. Just kind of hold it there. These mats were cut a certain way for certain frames. There we go. So now, I love it. And I'm probably gonna have to get James to like shoot me some little tacks in there. But yeah, look at that. The finished pair. And I love them. Can't wait to get them hung up in my room. So I'm gonna get my little sawtooth hangers, put on the back of them, and then we'll get them hung up. And here they are in my bedroom. And I think it looks absolutely perfect there. I love those prints. I will certainly be utilizing that Etsy shop and buying more. The paint color's almost perfect, matches the wall. But if you didn't know I painted those, do they look painted to you? They don't to me. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am so thrilled to learn that I can paint the mat. And this has definitely given me a new perspective when I look at different prints and mats and frames at thrift stores. I know now that, hey, just because the mat don't match doesn't mean that I can't make it work. So I hope you got some inspiration, and I hope it kind of helped you to think of like thinking outside the box, you know, and kind of using what I had. I didn't really want to go get mats cut. They can get really expensive, and I had these, so what was the big loss in trying it anyway? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I would love it if you hit that little red subscribe button. And come follow me on Instagram if you have an Instagram account. I would love to connect with you over there. And until next time, bye y'all.